So in case if you are having any difficulty in my voice or video, just post in the group. I will be responding. So today, the topic that we are going to discuss is exposure metering and compensation. This is a very important topic, particularly for those who are owning a camera and people who are only depending upon mobile. They should have this idea so that they can control the behavior of their camera phone to get the exposure correctly. So let us begin. So what happens when we take a photo is that, let us say we are taking a photo with our camera or our mobile. So what happens is that the camera, when it is exposed to the light, the image that the camera that is seeing is falling on the sensor. Now sensor, what it is doing, it is trying to analyzing what it is seeing through the opening in the lens. So let us say we are having a very small image, not the bigger image that we are discussing, like 2 megapixel, 20 megapixel. No, we are having a very small image of size 2 into 2. What is the meaning of 2 into 2? Like horizontally, we are having only 2 pixels, and vertically also we are having just 2 pixels. So very small setup we are having now. Image of resolution 2 into 2. So what camera does is that, so we are having total 4 points in the entire frame, horizontally 2 points and vertically 2 points. So total 4 points. To the camera, while taking a photo, it asks the first pixel, are you overexposed, properly exposed, or underexposed? This information is stored somewhere. Second, it asks the second point the same question again. Overexposed, underexposed, properly exposed. So this question, it asks for all 4 points or all 4 points in the particular frame. So depending upon whatever the answer the camera is getting, so it decides the entire image whether it is overexposed or properly exposed or underexposed. So accordingly it captures the image, right? So this is the behavior of the camera when we are taking photo in auto mode or whatever modes we have discussed, like aperture priority mode or shutter priority mode or programmed auto mode. Like apart from manual mode, in whatever sense there is auto mode, the camera behaves like this. We'll understand in a deeper way. So I'm just sharing my screen. In case if you are not able to see the full screen, just let me know. I will clarify it. So what we have discussed with a small image, say 2 into 2. Now we are having a bigger image. So let us say this is the image we are having, and we are taking this particular photo with our camera. So what our camera is doing in auto mode is that, like horizontally, these many points are there, and vertically, these many points are there. So let us say it's something like that 800 points are there here, total 800s are there, and total in this direction 600 points are there. So how many total points or how many total dots are there? It's called 800 into 600. So what the camera actually is doing while capturing this photo is that for each and every dot, it is asking the same question. For a particular point, are you overexposed, underexposed, or properly exposed? Next point, are you overly exposed, properly exposed, underexposed? So this answer it is collecting for all 800 into 600 for those many points. And ultimately, whatever answer it is getting, depending upon the majority of the answer, the camera is deciding whether the particular frame that the camera is seeing is underexposed or properly exposed or underexposed. So depending upon that, it is controlling the ultimate exposure or the ultimate photo that we are getting in auto mode or other different modes like aperture priority mode or shutter priority mode or programmed auto mode, where at least something is controlled automatically by the camera. Like this is the behavior. So this process is known as metering. So it is because of the metering, whatever exposure we are getting is controlled by the camera. Because of this process, because of the metering only, we are able to get the exposure that we are finally getting in the photo. So today's class is all about controlling this particular behavior, or how to meter these particular things only we are going to discuss. So this is a thing we have to first understand. So what are the methods that camera normally applies is that there are 4 universally accepted methods for metering, right? So what are these methods? The first one that we are going to discuss is that evaluative or matrix metering. This is the metering that we were so far discussing. What it does is that, let us say for this particular photo, how many dots are there? Let us say 800 vertically, and in this direction 600 photos. So it considers the exposure of all the dots or all the points that are there in the frame, right? So in mid area also it will consider, in these places also it will consider, in all the places it will be considering. So in this way, this is the way when that exposure is, when it is detected, it is called as evaluative or matrix metering. So in this method, what the camera is doing, whatever points are there in the frame, it is asking everyone, it is considering everyone, it is considering the brightness, the contrast value, the color information, and the color gradient, color tone. So each and every information it is collecting for them, and depending upon that, it is deciding whether my ultimate photo will be overexposed or underexposed or properly exposed, right? So depending upon the perception, or the depending upon the calculation that the camera is getting, depending upon the answer of the question of underexposure, overexposure, or properly exposure, it is deciding the ultimate exposure of the photo. This is called as evaluative or matrix metering. What is spot metering? Spot metering is nothing but it will not consider the entire frame, right? It will be considering, let us say, one particular point what the photographer will be deciding, and that is called a spot metering. Let us say I don't want the camera to decide that the exposure of the photo depending upon all the points, but only for this particular region. So I will be asking the question whether this particular spot, like a single spot or single point, whether that particular point is overexposed or underexposed or properly exposed. So depending upon my answer, I will be considering the entire image to properly expose or underexposed or overly exposed. Let us say this point is overly exposed. So I will think that the photo that I am going to get is overly exposed, right? So I have to make the photo darker to make the overall photo look properly exposed. So now the decision of the camera will not be depending upon all the points that it is seeing, but only a single point depending upon which it is deciding whether the image will be over, under, or properly exposed, right? So this is called as spot metering. What is center weighted or average metering is that it will not be deciding upon the of a single point. It will just be decided by the single point of the center point of the image, right? So if you are taking photo with your mobile, or if you are taking photo with your camera, if you are seeing through the viewfinder, so exactly the middle of the frame, whatever contents are there, right? So that will be given more importance. So that will play the major role in deciding the exposure level of the image, right? So the entire frame will also be considered, but importance will be given to the center of the frame, and depending upon that, your photo will be exposed. So this is called as center or average metering. And partial metering we'll be discussing a bit late, maybe after 5-10 minutes. So we have discussed these 4 different types of metering mode: evaluative, where all the points will be considered; spot, only a single point will be considered; and center weighted means the center of the frame will be given more importance, but all the frames will also be considered, right? So let us say I am the photographer and I have to select what particular exposure metering mode I have to select or set for getting a proper exposure of this particular photo. So, and the scene that I am seeing here is something like that. So for this type of photo, I want the exposure level to be decided by considering majority of the elements that are present in the frame, like this boats, this water, this bridge, then sky. I want the decision to be based upon whatever elements are present in the frame. So for this type of photos, the best method that we can select is that evaluative or matrix metering, right? So similarly, let us say I have when I am going to take a photo like this, so I can easily say that if this is my center of the frame, so if I engage the method which is called as center weighted or average metering method, then I will get the most accurate exposure for the particular photo, right? Whereas if I have to take a photo like this, and let us say I am taking the photo depending upon the metering of this particular point where I am moving the cursor. So what will happen? This is very dark. So camera will feel that the photo that I am going to take is very dark. So I have to make this photo brighter to get the exposure, to get the correct exposure. So in that, what will happen? This dark portion will become brighter, but this particular flame, which is already bright, will become further overexposed. So my overall exposure will be ruined. The photo, the mood of the photo will be ruined. So in that type of scenario, what is the best exposure metering mode I should engage? It is spot metering. I should meter this frame to this frame. Like I should say that the photo that I am going to take is very bright. So camera will understand this scene is very bright. So I have to make this photo darker to get the exposure correctly. So these dark areas will become further darker, whereas this area which is overly bright, overexposed, will have acceptable or properly exposed area in the photograph, right? So depending on the scene that we are considering, we have to engage the exact metering mode to get the proper exposure. When all the elements will be considering, I'll be engaging evaluative or matrix metering mode. For this type of things, I will be using center weighted metering mode. And for this type of thing, I will be engaging spot metering mode, right? Now for specific to manufacturer, Nikon supports only these metering methods. First is matrix method that we have discussed. Second is center weighted, we have already discussed. Third one is spot metering, we have already discussed. Now for Canon camera, this supports 4. Evaluative is nothing but matrix metering that we have discussed. Spot we have already discussed. Center weighted we have already discussed. Now partial metering we will be discussing. What is that? It is nothing but one type of center weighted metering only. Like for center weighted, what it happened exactly, the center point of the frame is considered for making the decision whether the image is overexposed or underexposed or properly exposed. But for partial, apart from the center, a very small area which is surrounding to this center place is considered. So this is called as partial exposure metering mode. One more exposure metering mode, particularly supported by Canon camera. So apart from matrix metering, spot and center, they are having a mode called partial metering mode like this, right? So there is dedicated button for high-end cameras. You can just search if you are having a dedicated button for this. For Nikon camera, this is the button for selecting the appropriate metering mode. For Canon camera also it is having like this. You can search if your camera is having this particular button. So we'll have a comparison between Nikon camera and Canon camera. So Nikon supports only matrix, center as well as spot. Canon camera supports evaluative, which is similar to matrix, center weighted, spot as well as partial that we have also already discussed. So one practical thing that we can do right now is that if you are taking your photo with your mobile, so what you can do, I hope my video is visible. What you can do is that if you are taking photos with your mobile, you just take any scene right now, point like this, and in that frame, whatever you are getting, you first tap to the brightest point in the frame. You can do it right now with me, then you will get the idea. Some photos you just try to take. So in the frame, whatever the brightest point is there, you just tap it. See, what happens is that the photo that you are going to take, it becomes darker. Why darker? Because when you tap it, normally these mobile phones, they engage spot metering methods. So the camera thinks that the photo or the scene that you are going to capture is very bright. To get the proper exposure, I should make the photo darker, underexposed, so that the ultimate photo that I am going to get will be properly exposed, right? So this is the first thing you try. You first point to the brightest point, tap to the brightest point and see that the photo will become darker. Next, what you do is that you point to the darkest point in the frame. Just tap on the darkest point in the frame, and if you see that the photo becomes very brighter or overexposed. Why? Because the camera now feels that the scene that you are going to capture is very dark, and to get a properly exposed photo, the camera has to make the scene brighter so that you get the properly exposed photo. So this is the behavior. Why the camera is behaving like this? Because it is engaging appropriate metering methods for you. When you are pointing to the darkest point, it is trying to make the photo brighter, whereas when you are tapping to the brightest point, it is trying to make the photo darker. Why it is happening like this? Because the camera or your mobile phone is engaging the metering method called spot metering, right? So this is the way. If we are getting a photo brighter, what we can do, let us say we are getting a photo which is overexposed. So what we can do, we can point to or tap to the brighter point. So the camera will make the photo a bit darker. So similar way, if we want to make the photo a bit brighter, so what we can do, we can tap to the darker point, right? So in that case, the camera will try to make the photo brighter. So this is the way with our mobile also we can control the exposure the way we want. So let us say there are some challenging situation, like there is a element or there is a scene where there is a presence of some elements which are very bright and some element which are very dark. So in that case, what we can do, we can tap to the point where both are touching each other. Let us say there is some darker area, there is some brighter area. Just try to tap to the connecting point, like where this darker area and brighter area, they are touching each other. You try to tap there. If you are managing to tap appropriately, see that the entire frame or the subject will now be properly exposed, rather than having a photo which is brighter or rather than having a photo which is darker, right? So what you are going to do, if you are going to make the photo brighter, you just tap to in an area which is darker in nature. If you are trying to get a photo of brighter, then you try to tap to an area which is darker. And if you want to get a photo in challenging area where there is darker element as well as brighter element, then you try to tap to the area where both these elements are meeting each other. Like you tap to an area where there is some darker area and there is some brighter area, and try to tap in between. Then the photo will be exposed correctly, right? So this is the way we can control the exposure the way we want. That is the reason I ask you to collect two pieces of paper. One is black and one is white. If you are not able to do this experiment right now, you just watch this video multiple times and you can try to get a photo like this. And with this, I feel whatever exposure related issues are there, you will be able to solve with your own, right? So this was the practical demonstration that I wanted to show you. I hope that will be helpful to you. Now we'll be just returning to our discussion. So this is where we were discussing the metering mode. We have already discussed this. So we'll be just moving to the second topic for this evening, that is exposure compensation. So what is exposure compensation is that, let us say with our exposure metering, whatever so far we have discussed, evaluative or matrix metering, center weighted metering and spot metering, we are able to get the proper exposure of scenes which are not so challenging. But still, we will have certain situation where to get the proper exposure, it will be further demanding some more technical thing from us. So what are those challenging situation? This is the challenging situation. Let us say we have to take a photo like this. So there are some tubs which are basically darker in nature, but those tubs are placed in the backdrop of area where the background is brighter in nature. So what happens is that if you try to meter this particular frame with the background, so the camera feels that the background is very bright, so this frame is very bright, so I have to make this photo a bit darker to get the proper exposure. So in that process, what happens is that whatever dark areas are there, they become further darker and the photo is ruined. Similarly, for this type of situation also, there is, let us say, too much white element in the frame. So the camera thinks that to get a proper exposure, I have to make this photo a bit darker. So it will make the photo darker. So in the process, what happens? Your white colored snow, they will become gray. So what is the solution for that? The solution is called as exposure compensation. Just whatever the camera's default behavior is there, you can negate that. How to negate that? In exposure compensation, we are having two concepts. One is positive exposure compensation and second is negative exposure compensation. Let us say you have taken a photo. Now, if you want to make the photo brighter, what you are going to apply? You are going to apply positive exposure compensation. Let us say you have applied one level of positive exposure compensation, so the photo looks brighter. Let us say you want to apply negative exposure compensation, so what you can do? It will make the photo darker. So what is exposure compensation? It is for taking photos in challenging condition. What it is doing, when you are applying positive exposure compensation, it is making the photo brighter. Whereas if you are applying negative exposure compensation, it is making the photo darker. So what is the use? For camera user, you are having a very easy option. There may be either dedicated button or graphical user interface. You can select the exposure compensation that you want, right? This is for Canon camera, this is for Nikon camera, and this is for some other camera. So what it is basically doing is that whatever exposure you are getting, just if you want to make it brighter, apply positive exposure compensation. If you want to make it darker, apply negative exposure compensation. This is a screenshot for Canon camera. This is the option. Let us say you have taken a photo like this. If you want to make the photo brighter, by level 1, you can select this. Level 2, one more step. Level 3, one more step. So like this you can do. For Nikon camera, you can do the same like this. So these are the levels. You can select the way you want. If you want to make it brighter or darker, depending upon that, you select the exposure compensation level. For mobile user, you have to check if your mobile support the option called exposure compensation. For low-end mobile, I am telling that you will not have this option. For high-end mobile like iPhone or maybe whatever this capable hardware enabled phones are there, costly phones are there, they may be giving you an option to set this exposure compensation directly. Why it is useful, these two concepts, exposure compensation and metering, is that when you get a situation like this where your frame is challenging, like this subject is there which is black in nature, whereas this particular background is white, what you can do, you can select a spot metering. So you can tap here and you tell that my subject is dark. So what the camera will do is that it will brighten up everything. So whatever white is there, that will also become white. So what you can do, you can now apply exposure compensation. You apply spot metering. So this will be exposed correctly. Now this will become bright. So you apply negative exposure compensation. So with negative exposure compensation, what will happen? The overall exposure level of the image will now become darker. So this white will also gradually become darker depending upon the exposure compensation level that you are selecting. Something like -1 not doing for you, you can go for -2 or -3 or -4 or the -5, whatever your camera is allowing you to set. So in that way, with challenging situation like this also, you will be managed to get properly exposed photo. Or let us say this. So what you can do is that you can apply spot metering to this area. So what the camera will think that the subject is very bright, so I have to make the photo underexposed. So this white area will become black or darker, but the subject which is already black will also become further darker. So for that, what you can do, you can apply positive exposure compensation, right? So that if some details are lost because of darkness or underexposure, that will be compensated with the help of positive exposure compensation, right? So you understand metering, you understand exposure compensation, and you get a photo like this which is perfectly exposed, right? But we have to remember is that exposure compensation is available only for those type of modes where there is some automatic exposure calculation, like for auto mode or A mode or aperture priority mode or shutter priority mode or programmed auto mode, or if you are taking photo in manual mode and if your ISO setting you have set to auto mode, then only your camera will be accepting the settings that you are setting for exposure compensation, right? So how you can use your exposure compensation? You have to select either auto mode or different modes where there is some auto settings other than manual mode. And manual mode, if you want to do, just set your ISO settings to auto mode, then you should be able to set your exposure compensation mode. And mobile user, just you have to find out if your mobile supports exposure compensation or not. So if anyone is having any doubt, you can raise your hand. I will be taking question, or else what I will do is that I will summarize very quickly. Anirban, Anirban, you can unmute yourself.
I have unmuted.
Hmm.
Am I listenable?
Yes, Anirban.
Okay, so I have a question regarding this exposure compensation. So I am a mobile user. So exposure compensation setting is available in the auto mode in my mobile, but
Okay.
it is not available in the pro mode. So in my mobile, okay. So suppose I am taking a photograph in a low light condition. Suppose it's a cloudy weather. So I can have two choices: either shoot in a auto mode with exposure compensation setting, compensating with the light, or I have to take in the pro mode, setting the shutter speed or ISO speed. What should be the ideal choice?
That depends upon the output that you are getting in that particular environment.
Okay. So I have to make a trial and error.
There is no alternate answer or option for that. Like,
okay.
If for, let us say, for the point of discussion, let us say I shoot most of the times in manual mode. So in my world, there is nothing called exposure compensation, because manual mode, it does not support at all.
Yeah, just like my mobile.
But see, if you are asking me what is the convenient way, let us say if you are shooting in pro mode. So pro mode is normally, I feel, is that it is manual mode only.
Yeah, right.
So let us say if you are shooting in auto mode, means you can get rid of all the technical things, right? You are already not shooting with your camera. You are not shooting with your camera, you are shooting with your mobile. Why? Because you want simplicity. So for that simplicity, what you can do, just select any auto mode and see if the photo is dark or bright.
Okay.
So if the photo is dark and if you want to make it brighter, you just apply exposure compensation. Because when we are discussing exposure compensation, and because this is a basic class, what I am not discussing is that how exposure compensation works. So basically, exposure compensation works by changing shutter speed and aperture, right? So there is no magic in that. Internally, it is changing your shutter speed and aperture only, or ISO also, right? So what it is
in mobile, it is in my mobile, it changes the ISO and shutter speed simultaneously. I have checked the XIF.
True.
Both are changed.
True. So finally, what it is doing is that it is allowing you to get rid of all those technical details, right? You forget about all those technical details, just you are getting brighter. So you add some negative exposure compensation, you are getting a photo which is darker. Now you add some positive exposure compensation. So you can forget about all those shutter speed and things, right? For normal scenes, you don't have to remember all those technical details. Okay. You just remember that there is something called exposure compensation, you apply it accordingly.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, for camera user who want more control, right? They can go for that. They can go for manual mode, or they can go for the appropriate mode. Like if there is some speed to be captured, then they could go for shutter speed. If there is more light, or there is some background blur, out of focus things they want to achieve, then they will go for aperture priority mode. But once you are not going to take consideration of all those technicalities, then it is better to get rid of all those technical jargons. Just take a photo, and depending upon the exposure compensation concept that you are having, you make a correction accordingly, and that will be the best thing to do. So that was from my side. If there is any more doubt, then I will be taking, otherwise I will be sharing the assignment that we have to do. We will understand this assignment once. What is the assignment that we are having is that we have to take photo of the same frame or the same scene that we are seeing, that we have discussed practically. Is that you first try to take a photo, then whatever elements are there in the frame, you point to the brightest area and see that you get a darker photo. So this photo you post. Similarly, you tap to the darkest area and try to get a photo which is brighter in nature. You take a photo like this. So two photos you have to take depending upon the objective that you are trying to achieve. So this is the assignment, a tougher one, but I hope every one of us should be able to do this. So that was the class. I think it was a bit difficult, and I have 3 minutes of time. So what I will do is that I will do a quick recap of the things that we have discussed so far. So what the camera is doing when it's trying to take a photo is that it is metering the scene that we are taking a photo. So how it is metering? In general, for the sake of discussion, we can say that whatever dots or points are there, for each and every point, it is asking, are you overexposed, underexposed, or properly exposed? To that information it is collecting. So whatever the collective answer it is getting, depending upon that, it is capturing the ultimate photo, or it is deciding the exposure level of the ultimate photo that we are going to capture. There are 4 majorly accepted metering modes. Those are evaluative or matrix metering, where the entire frame is considered. There is spot metering, where a single point, depending upon the choice of the photographer, is decided. Or there is center weighted average metering, where the center point, depending upon the exposure level of the center point, the entire frame is decided. But in case of partial metering, the center point as well as the surrounding area. So depending upon these things, the metering is decided. So for this type of photos, evaluative or matrix metering gives us better result. For this type of photos, a center weighted metering will give us the result very quickly. And for this type of scenario, spot metering gives us better result. Now, Nikon camera suppose these methods, matrix, center, and spot. Canon camera, they support 4: evaluative, partial, spot, and center. There are dedicated buttons for high-end cameras for selecting this appropriate metering mode. This we have already discussed. And there are challenging situations where the subject or the background, they are in 2 different types, like something in dark or something is bright. So for those type of situation, what is going to help us is that exposure compensation. What is the meaning? Whatever photo that we are getting, if we want to make it brighter, we have to apply positive exposure compensation. If we want to make the photo darker, we have to apply negative exposure compensation, right? How to set that? Even for the camera user, for dedicated buttons will be there depending upon the cost that you have invested. So this is the ultimate culmination of today's class. You select appropriate metering mode, and whatever output you are getting, depending upon that, you have to apply appropriate exposure compensation to get a photo which is properly exposed, or the way you want it to be exposed, right? And a small assignment we have to do, depending upon pointing the brightest or darkest area to get the exposure the way you want it. So that was from my side. I think this should be fine for today's class.